Hello guys, welcome to the re-upload of the dhmis analysis. So, here is what I think about the first episode. Now, of course, at first they are sitting at, it's a casual Monday. And then a notepad starts to talk to them. Now, this notepad asks many things. Like what's your favorite idea? What's your favorite color? And things like that. Now, the what's your favorite color? That, if you look at now, that is going to come in correlation with the 6th episode. And so how that really, and what that happens is the red guy spells out blue, the yellow guy spells out green, and the green duck spells out red. You'll see the correlation. You'll see why the correlation is and that is so important. Another thing I'm going to talk about right now is how I feel like this whole thing represents sort of like media, because, well, not media entirely, like society. Society is poisoning the minds of people today. Now, episode 2. Now, in this episode, a clock shows the 3 main characters, the future, the past, and things like that. And at one point in this episode, the yellow guy tries to say something, but then the clock goes like meep, 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 really loud and high pitched, which makes the yellow guy's ears bleed. Now, once again with the society sometimes hushes those who do not have the authority. And in this episode, another thing that happens in this episode is near the end they grow old, and I feel like the ducks is like a bit slower than the others. Anyways, let's go on to the next episode, episode 3. Now in this episode, in the beginning, you see a missing poster on a tree. Another thing that happens is actually the duck is actually sort of like a cannibal, because a duck is eating chicken. Chickens and ducks are both the same like bird family. They're both birds, and but what I think this episode is, the episode of love, is I feel like it's either one, this episode they are playing a board game and they ask a question at the world. There's a globe behind them. They turn around and look at the globe and thinking that it will be what is going to talk. Now, the red guy reads out the question multiple times. Doesn't happen, but then things take turns for the worst, and a computer shows up and starts asking them questions. And one of the questions is, what is your name? And the red guy goes to answer it. And the red guy goes to answer it, and the computer stops him by going and asking another question. Actually later in this episode, you can see later episode, near the end of the episode, you see the red guy walk into a separate room, and then his head explodes for some reason. On to the next episode. So what happens in episode 5 is, since the red guy's gone, it's now only the green duck and the yellow guy. So what happens in this episode is, our refrigerator and a can talking in this episode, and they talk about how healthier foods make your teeth gray. Throughout this episode, throughout the first part of the episode, they keep on getting calls, and the duck goes to go answer them, but then he is almost immediately stopped. And once in a while, episode 5. And so, a bit later in the episode, the green duck finds himself sitting in a room with a can, not the same can from the can in his inside. Now this happens, and this is like the worst part of it, and then the yellow guy bit. Okay, now in episode 6, it starts off the yellow guy looking at an album, crying, sad about his friends, and then he goes to sleep and the lamp turns on and it starts singing, then the yellow guy turns it off, and this continues to happen. Then twice the yellow guy almost drowns in tar. Then it switches over to the yellow guy in his office. He is giving documents, and he, most likely traumatized by the event, says, "Wouldn't it be crazy if this document came alive and started saying, 'I am a document, you put papers in me,'" and the whole office stared at him. Next scene, he is at a bar type place, and he goes into the state and he gets undressed. He goes into the state that he was before he came out of that one facility place with Roy and the yellow guy and them. And then he starts to sing the song from the first episode, and then Roy appears. Then the red guy goes into a room with a monitor. He presses buttons, which changes the character that the yellow guy sees. Then he follows a cord and sees a plug, and then he pulls it and says, "I wonder what will happen." He pulls it, and then the red guy's not blue,